All right, so game number 3 between Mateus and Gallivanter. Crazy. What are you expecting?
Considering the players that we're watching, they're really safe players. They don't like to take too many gambles. So I think we're going to be here for a little bit. This preset is already a long preset, and if you're already playing safe, you have the potential of making it take longer.
Yeah, I am curious to see if either player will shake up their normal approach and go for something a bit more ambitious. It's possible. Might depend on what kind of a seed we end up with here. I think the first couple of relics will set the tone. The moment it's about neck and neck.
Yeah, I personally don't like doing the same thing over and over again, so I tend to be a little more sporadic with my routing.
Yeah, being unpredictable in the Soten rando can definitely be a strength. Okay, Thunderbrand for Gallivanter and Mateus. Here we go. First relic is going to be Jewel of Open. This does not bode well for a quick one.
Nope, this is going to be a long haul, I believe. The main question is, do they go down immediately, or do they go to library to see if there's another piece that they may be missing?
Crazy, what is your feeling on how to handle this kind of situation? Do you go down?
This is a very weird situation. I have normally gone down. I have grabbed the save at the top of caves. It's not the greatest. Actually, it's quite bad. But if you feel like you're missing one more piece in the library, you could save split at Merman Statue to check library and not lose as much time, but you're still losing quite a bit of time. So normally I would just go straight down, I would believe, in this situation.
Now, we've got an unusual number of weapons to start out this seed. I'm not sure what's the best. I think the Thunderbrand looks okay.
The Greatsword's the best. It's got great in the name.
I forget, where do you get the Greatsword in Vanilla Soden? It's not Guardian, is it?
I don't remember. I do not remember, to be honest with you.
Someone in chat might know. Meantime, though, it's like a 5-second difference separating these runners here.
If Eld's in chat, he's typing it right now.
Hey, it is indeed Guardian. I think by that point in the game, you'd expect a better weapon drop, but what can you do?
I mean, it's a good weapon. It's just got terrible crouching and lag. As long as you jump, you're fine.
Okay, next up, Fairy Scroll. Whole lot of nothing down here. I'm curious if we'll see a divergence. My feeling is both players probably want to go to library, but who knows?
Well, as I said before, these are two really safe players, so I would not put it past them to go straight to library.
If they do go to library, we'll have some downtime to go over some of the basics on the preset and how it works for those who are new to the tournament. If they go down, though, this is going to get real exciting real fast. So let's see.
See, if they go towards the library, they have 2 item checks that they can do. They can do the guaranteed library card check in vanilla and the other item that's there. There's a Power of Sire for Matthews. It could matter eventually.
Have we seen a duplicator seed to this point in bracket?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Okay, so we've got a potion and a neutron bomb. Gallivanter is going to the left. Gallivanter's going down. But yeah, in a duplicator seed, Power of Sire becomes pretty top tier, so could be an interesting pickup, but duplicator is pretty hard to find. Let's see, will Mateus also go to the left? Yes! So both going down. This is kind of a surprise. Okay.
I think they're both trying to counter each other, and they just made the same decision.
Now that we have seen before, it's the game beyond the game, trying to read your opponent, create a divergence, but you end up making the same read and sharing a divergence, which is no real divergence at all. So interesting stuff here. I think both players have a good enough weapon for Scylla. Not too concerned on this one. And no save split from Mateus. Totally equalizes that lead.
The Scylla worm is gone. The ring down there that might help them out later.
Okay, it's Echo of Bats.
That's also something you don't want to see in first castle.
True. That could mean it's something like bat form deep in the second castle.
Yeah. And in a preset where you don't have that much fast movement, not seeing bat is pretty bad.
Now, we saw Gallivanter save split before Scylla, and Mateus has neglected to save split, period. Gonna save that for later. One idea I've seen a little bit in the past is to save split right before Succubus, then drop down. And that way, if you don't find any value down here, you can just go right back up to Library. How do you feel about that as a possible save split?
As I was explaining earlier, that's the save I was talking about at the top of Caverns. It's okay in certain circumstances, but in most circumstances, I feel like it's pretty bad.
Did Gallivanter not get that shield? I'm not sure where that came from.
I think he got it, he just doesn't want to invest the time to menu.
Oh, if so, that's a mistake. Definitely worth the menu time. The menu boss is a formidable boss. Very easy to lose lots of seconds without realizing if you spend too long in the menu. But shield always worth.
I think he's thinking that he might have to save split, but I don't know why he would want to save split in this situation. Oh, cat eye circlet. We have immunity to cat damage.
Can you believe that's a real element in Soden? Cat damage?
I can believe it. I was talking about trying to convert it over to water damage, but water damage is already in the game. It's just only applied to, or only gets damages a la carte.
Okay, well, lower route is going to work out, I think. Leapstone for Gallivanter.
So, Leapstone there, that means it opens up 3 locations at this time. It opens up Colosseum and the Abandoned Mines and Grand Flame as well. Those 3 checks that he...
Ooh, that would have been a really interesting library card. Sadly, it's just baits.
2 bait cards already. You know, even without using the shield, Gallivanter is still gaining some more ground over Matthews.
I've been very impressed by Gallivanter's movement so far this tournament. Gallivanter is a new school player, but definitely has a great grasp on the fundamentals.
Matthews taking a lot of time in the menus just to make sure he doesn't die.
Yeah, that menu boss wants a rematch. Okay, so another loop through the alchemy lab. And then I'm assuming we'll see Colosseum from both.
I would believe so. Gallivanter hit the dive kick off of the Spittlebone. Saves a few seconds.
No, that's a good skip. That's a legit skip. One of the many places that Leapstone can save a good chunk of time. Now, if you go up to Colosseum, do you also grab the warp, or do you save that for later?
If I am committing to the fight, I will just open up the shortcut and then drop back down if there was nothing there.
Ooh, not first try on this Spittlebone. Not second try either.
It's not the easiest thing to do. It's not that difficult. It's a lot of timing.
The visual cue I like to use is the second the Spittlebone comes fully on screen. That's when you start the double jump. Everyone, I think, has a slightly different cue, though. So Mateus does get around, but not nearly as quickly. So Gallivanter pulling slightly ahead now.
The way that I've been doing it is I'll do a full jump to see where it is, and then whenever I land, I wait like half a second and then jump for the dive kick. And normally it's in the best position where you would just hit the head of the Spittlebone and you don't have to worry about bonking your head. One thing I've noticed with Gallivanter, when he does his dive kick for a front slide, sometimes he'll end up just doing a backslide. And I think it's because if you pay attention to his movement, he uses the left analog stick. So I think what's happening is he's going for the dive kick, and the snapback is forcing him to start doing a backslide.
Okay, Gallivanter is going to grab the warp. If Mateus skips this, once again, we're going to be basically tied.
Like I said, sometimes in this preset, I feel like the center warp isn't really that important. You end up going to the center of the castle so many times that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I agree with this call from Mateus, and look at this, oh my goodness. Within 1 second now. And Mateus is going to pull ahead here with the shield.
Showing off some any percent movement right there. Enemy and manipulations. Oh. Menu boss again.
Just going to go with the standard punch here. Again, Spellbound is the most difficult preset we've had for tournament. It pays to play it a bit safe on certain bosses like Minotaur Werewolf. This fight could be lethal.
I've died to it many times. Matthews doesn't have... Okay, never mind.
And there's Gravity Boot. So that is going to be in Logic Flight, which means, as always, it is time to talk about complexity. Crazy, I leave that to you. How would you summarize complexity for the chat?
Complexity is the amount of... To me, it's the amount of things that you need to find in order to complete the game. each thing and each item has to lead to the next item. So we saw Jewel of Open led to Leapstone. So Jewel of Open was the first layer of complexity. Now we have Leapstone, which opened up 3 new things. That makes it the second step in complexity. Now that we found Gravity Boots at what is one of the Leapstone locations, we can assume that that is the next layer of complexity, which would be Flight, which opens up everything else except for the high complexity locations like Silver Ring.
And would you look at this, our first major divergence of this game 3. Mateus is going to go to Sword Bro, can't do all rocks because no transformation, and will then wrap around to top floor, whereas Gallivanter doing what I think is probably the more traditional route here, where you just go around. And just to clarify something earlier, sorry Crazy, we said that perhaps Gallivanter got a shield, but decided not to equip it. I believe they didn't get a shield, so that might have been a random drop, because the second they found that iron shield, they immediately put it on.
Maybe, I thought I saw him grab it.
Oh, that's going to work out nice for Gallivanter. Form of Mist in Alchemy.
Form of Mist, and the only thing Matheus found was Soul Steel, that sword card.
Now, Mateus does find a good amount of money already. I feel like these chapel checks can be a little bit underrated. They're very fast to pick up, and they're early enough into the seed where if they happen to have something really good, like money or a good weapon, it can change how you want to route other item checks in Castle 1. So it's one of the big advantages of this route.
I say if you want to skip all item checks and just check like the highest density amount, you check the leftmost tower, the rightmost tower, and then the Castle Keep Attic. And then you should theoretically have everything you need to complete the seed.
Yeah, you never bother with the middle one. I think it's only one item.
One item. It's not really worth checking. The only time it's worth checking is if it happens to be a library card, which is slim to none.
Yeah, you can say that about any check. That's the ultimate copium. Yeah, I wasted 30 seconds going for this item, but what if it was a library card, though? True, but unlikely. Hey, Spike Breaker for Gallivanter. That's it, Gravity Boots location.
Another flight layer, so that puts Silver Ring in logic now. But that also makes Spike Breaker itself out of logic check, so it would make sense, especially for Gallivanter, to go straight to Spike Breaker since he has the center warp.
Yeah, you can grab Succubus, etc. on the way. I think this is... I've been impressed with this Gallivanter route. Unless Mateus finds something really good up here, I think Gallivanter's going to gain a 1 or 2 minute lead from the routing.
Fire of Bat, everybody's favorite relic.
More money and Tetra Spirit for Mateus.
Still no Vlads. I wonder if Succubus will be our first Vlad.
Hamburger. And nothing here at Ghost Card. Unlucky break. Yeah, I agree with Rainbow in the chat. Early on, Tetra Spirit's a really nice pickup for combat. Their weapons are not top tier, so that'll be helpful, but Mateus would have really preferred to have found something movement related or transformation related. Where to now? Probably going to follow Gallivanter's route here. Skip Power Wolf. There's our first Vlad. Oh, I take it back, doing Power of Wolf beforehand. That could be interesting. If this is nothing, though, I think Gallivanter's going to have a pretty solid lead.
It makes sense to go here if you think your opponent's not going to, because you've both already been to Mermaid Statue, so it would probably be the easiest thing for both to skip. So in going for this check, you're hoping your opponent isn't going for it, and you're hoping it's a Vlad or something progression-wise. Well, not progression, you hope it's a Vlad, because then it's more likely for your opponent to skip it.
Low-key, Power of Wolf is one of the Castle 1 checks that ends up getting orphaned the most often. If it has value and you do it a little bit out of the way, like we're seeing from Mateus here, it can be a game-winning play. So, big moments. Soul of Wolf, that's interesting. What do you think about that? Is that good enough?
By itself, no. But eventually it will be.
Yeah, early Power Wolf and Skill of Wolf might benefit Mateus in this seed. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Gallivanter's audio, though, since I think definitely ahead for now.
We smash that demon card, so finding Bat somewhere in second castle early would be nice. They just got both pieces for a Vile stack right there at the bottom of Abandoned Mine.
It pains me to say it, but Vile stacking is nerfed with item rando, because the bomb item is unreliable.
Yeah, you can't pay attention to the damage or the attack stat, because it just could not. It could just not work. Mott said that he wanted to find a seed that Power Sire does not work, or a bomb item does not work, so that he can look into why everything is. But every time it is thought about, we just never find a Power Sire seed, or a Power Sire that doesn't work.
So I'm getting a little bit worried. Please go ahead.
If this is one of those seeds that Power Sire doesn't work, I will be grabbing that seed and sending it to Mike.
I'm getting a bit worried about Mateus' route here. He's going back to do All Rocks. Perhaps feeling behind, wants to do something that rewards that early Power Wolf decision with Wolf Form. But is going to have to come back a third time, potentially, for Silver Ring. Whereas Gallivanter could do all three of those checks, Sword Bro, All Rocks, and Silver Ring in one go, on top of having the better route to this point already. So, this lead might grow here for Gallivanter over the next 10 minutes.
Unless this is something like, unless this is Power of Wolf right here, I don't think this helps out Matheus at all.
If this is something good like Bat, which is possible, that could be interesting. Something like Wolf into Bat in logic.
I don't even think that really helps him out that much, especially if he's.
Well, sadly, it's a whole lot of nothing. Now, if I'm Mateus here, I'm definitely feeling behind. You've gone back twice to All Rocks' quarters and haven't gotten really anything to show for it. On top of that, you did the slow Power Wolf check. And you are unsure if your opponent went to Library or not. So that's also probably weighing on your mind. If I'm Mateus, I'm going to start playing aggressive now. There's Skill of Wolf. Not going to keep that. That's bad for Mateus, though. Because that means Skill of Wolf is probably going to be skipped by both.
So now we're going to see the Spike Breaker check and see how good or bad this seed could be.
Oh, to answer the question, why was Wolf marked? It's because I'm doing manual tracking. If I make any mistakes, just let me know. But unfortunately, Gallivanter is on Linux, where the tracker does not work. However, always got to respect the geniuses who are able to use Linux, free themselves from Windows. One day, I hope to join them, but it'll probably take like 2 decades to figure it out. Meanwhile, a Wing Smash at Demon Card.
Wing Smash at Demon Card.
Mana Prism for Gallivanter. This would make for a great duplicator seed.
Maybe there's one in the shop. So Matthews has not done both the Alchemy Lab checks, because that's where Mist was. So yeah, this is still a pretty bad situation for Matthews.
Meanwhile, Merman statue is Spike Breaker, so this is almost certainly leading us towards Final Blood. I think the routing here, once again, is going to work out nice for Gallivanter. You just escape, right? You climb up, go to the Holy Symbol, and then just go to Library from there. Normally, Merman into Holy Symbol is kind of out of the way, but since you haven't done Library to begin with, you have to go that way regardless, so this is working out real good. I think Gallivanter's like 4 minutes ahead right now. Hard to pinpoint exactly the lead, but it's going to be in that ballpark.
It also depends on how long it takes Matthews to go to Alchemy Labs and get Mist. Because in my eyes right now, Mist is holding glasses.
I would have liked to have seen some Tetra Spirit here from Mateus. Would have saved a good 5 seconds on that fight, probably.
Probably forgot he had it, honestly.
It is Spellbound. That's something that's easy to forget, but important to remember. There's a decent chance Mateus will skip Legion as well. That'll save a little bit. So the current chain right now is Jewel of Open 1, Leapstone 2, Gravity 3 from Coliseum, Mist 4, and then there's a whole lot of question marks in the middle. We'll find Bat somewhere, and then it's Merman, probably Merman 8.
We're still not sure if Mist is the actual full progression.
Yeah, that's an assumption, likely, but not guaranteed. Oh, what's this? Wait, wasn't that bait? Yes.
Yeah, that was a bait ticket. We're going to the code and just change the name from meal ticket to bait ticket. Because that's what it is.
It's funny, you know, a lot of items in Soden share a sprite, so the katanas share a similar sprite. Certain items will share the same sprite. The fact that Library Card and Meal Ticket happen to share the same card sprite is really funny for Rando. Obviously, Iga did not anticipate there being a randomizer for this game, but it just works out so perfectly. Gives you that interesting 50-50.
Matthews just got the best sword in the game, the Muramasa.
Now that is kind of cringe. Not the Muramasa, but finding gold ring. So Merman is probably going to be 7 then.
Muramasa is great. It's the only sword that gives you permanent Dark Metamorphosis, the spell they don't have. I'll say Gallivanter is cutting a little close. So now the question is, where's the other ring?
I've got a bad feeling it's in Castle 2 somewhere.
It could literally be anywhere now.
Yeah, on the bright side, it does mean that Bat is earlier than expected. It's possible, for example, that it's Mist 4, and then like maybe Soul of Bat is vanilla. And Silver Ring will be somewhere in the library. That is best case. Worst case is Silver Ring at Gallivanter.
Well, we'll figure it out soon. If this is a seed where Bat is in first castle, then it is most likely going to be the situation of Final Vlad is any Vlad that's in second castle.
I will say, with only one Vlad relic 32 minutes in, we're probably going to see most of Castle 2 anyway. The seed has been stingy with the Vlads.
And it just seems like Mattheus is getting slightly, like, more and more behind, mainly because he doesn't have missiles.
I also feel like Gallivanter's had the movement advantage today.
Gallivanter said he didn't want the karma coin. He didn't want to flip heads or tails.
I think that item is too much of a meme for tournament.
I don't know. We've had a seed where we had to get down into Holy Symbol, and we did not have a sword or any way of breaking it.
And no leaf stone.
I had no leaf stone. I had a throw, I think it was a Bwaka knife that hit the floor once, and the only other thing I had in my inventory was a karma coin, and I tossed it and it hit heads and it destroyed the rest of the floor. And I did it without saving. I still ended up losing, but that was the best moment.
That's a heads-up play. Get it? Heads up. Oh, crack myself up. I wonder if Tails will also break the floor. I've actually never tested that.
I don't know. I just know it hit heads and it broke the floor.
I'm interested.
Right, so we're gonna see what's in the shop. Are we gonna
Absolutely
find a
loaded right now. Unfortunately, this shop is Garbo. At least for now. What are the accessories looking like?
Thank you.
Oh my god. Yeah, maybe just take some defense. That is one of the worst shops I have ever seen.
Yeah, that is. Do some defense. I would buy the Medusa shield and then a bunch of life apples. But it does make sense to just not buy anything else because you don't really need any of that stuff.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of big one from enemies versus Gallivanter. Defense stat is like 50 or something, 50 plus, so...
I saw 60.
Was it really up to 60? Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
He's...
Not invincible, but pretty dang close.
There's Lesser Demon. He went down pretty fast.
What do we have here? There we go. That's a real library card. Library card in the library. But nothing at Soul of Bat. Curious.
Well, they did find Spikebreaker on the same layer, so...
So Silver Ring's in logic. Okay.
It's unless there is a ring at the unless Silver Ring is at Silver Ring, this is no, Silver Ring can't be at Silver Ring.
It's got to be either holy glasses or bat, right?
It can't be bat either. It has to be holy glasses.
Why couldn't it be bat?
Because then they wouldn't have we've seen everything except for fire of bat.
Oh right, okay, I see what you mean. So if fire of bat is also nothing, yeah. So we got to do that on the way first. That'll be informative. If it's nothing there, we can confirm it's holy glasses. And this will be an interesting test of vanilla movement. Normally Wolf is pretty good in Castle 2, but with no power, no skill, it's gonna basically just be vanilla Alucard movements.
I am just looking at Matthews' screen right now. He is headed towards library without mist. So he's gonna have to go back into library. He's digging himself deeper into a hole right now.
I mean, he's gonna have to skip that to have any kind of a chance, which he can. It is an empty check, so that's fortunate. But yes, this is okay, there's Dark Metamorphosis. This might just be Gallivanter's day, and this is going to be an upset for sure. The new school player potentially defeating the veteran, and a tournament threat, sending Mateus down to loser's bracket. Still early though. Nothing set in stone, but Gallivanter has a commanding lead at the moment.
So if Mattheus does end up losing this, that means I believe he goes to loser's bracket and he has to fight Ren, which would be a battle of two Brazilians. Yeah,
that would be a great matchup. There's a Masamune for Gallivanter, so if the stats aren't totally terrible, that'll be a good option for Dracula and Shaft.
You get a Diamond and a Masamune. Diamond doesn't matter because the shop was trapped.
What a shame.
Yeah, we now know that Silver Ring has to be holy glasses. Because we've seen everything else.
So if you're rooting for Mateus to make an improbable comeback here, what are the possible win conditions for Mateus?
See, I would assume Gallivanter is going to do. It would have to go down to Senka Castle routing, and I have the feeling that Gallivanter will end up doing left side. So I think Matthews would have to go right side in that situation, and hope that that's the correct call.
In a way, it's fortunate that we have found a couple of Vlads in quick succession here. It's fortunate for Mateus. If it was like a one Vlad scenario, odds are pretty high that it's going to be like a 7-10 split where you have one Vlad minimum on left side, one Vlad minimum on right side, and you got to do both anyway. In that situation, routing can't really save you that much time. But here, though, if the stars align, could be a difference maker. So yeah, no need to save split this. You can just grab the warp, go right to Silver Ring. This is guaranteed.
Well, he still hasn't done sword card or.
Good point. I'm also curious if he'll go do Power Wolf at some point before Castle 2.
I hope he doesn't, because he doesn't really have a reason to at this point. Especially with 3 Vlads and on his way to what he should be realizing is holy glasses.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of what's here. As Gallivanter has to sneak in using Mist. This is not in logic, but it's very doable. Now there's a common misconception this trick is frame perfect. It's much weirder than that. You can avoid using MP, but it's like the most arbitrary, random, like It's like between frames 2 and 8, depending on when you repress the button, you get different amounts of MP spent. I remember Mott sent me a whole list, but the TLDR is you just spam the button, hope for the best.
Yeah, I just spam it.
Oh my god, look at that Masamune damage. I love this weapon so much. For me, this is one of the signature weapons of Soden right here.
Yeah, with weapons like the Masamune, Crucigram, stuff like that, you just have no fear of any of the bosses. Like Gallivanter, you don't have any fear of any of the bosses really. Maybe Trio, because sometimes they can be annoying.
Now it's weird, I'm not sure why this is, but when you're going from right to left, you can just hold forward on that initial mist. When you're going left to right, you have to hold right up. That's why that first mist didn't work for Gallivanter. Very weird. Just a little Soden quirk.
It happens because Soden.
Something about the tiles aren't perfectly aligned, or who knows. Alright, there's Soul Steel.
Okay, so Matheus has the potential of gaining a little bit of extra time because he's going straight to Simulator. So I think the lead has shortened quite a bit.
So Matheus has still not gone to library, right?
He hasn't gone back to the library. I think. I don't know if he's gone to library.
See, that would explain why all of a sudden it's no longer that far apart, because library is a long trip.
I think he skipped it.
Okay, well, this is a win condition then. Just don't go to library until you're done with Castle 2. It's a big commitment, though. I'm sure Matheus feels behind, but does he feel that far behind?
Gallivanter also has a library card from library.
Right. So yeah, Matheus has gone to library, but not Soul of Bat. So that's the question. Will Matheus do that first or second?
Just almost 45 minutes in and they still haven't been to second castle. It feels pretty bad.
Big moment here. Does Matheus head up or does he head into the warp room?
Hope he's heading up.
Oh, he's heading up just like that. We've got a race again. Interesting. Matheus skipped Grand Falloon, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Grand Falloon skip, Soul of Bat delay, possibly a skip. Anything else that we missed?
Not that I know.
Meanwhile, no way. Where's Gallivanter going?
No, don't do it. He's throwing.
Oh, this is, you know, crazy. You mentioned this at the very start of the race. Both players play very safe. What a turnaround. So just on paper, Gallivanter had like a 3 to 4 minute lead. But Matheus making some good decisions on which things to skip going to Castle 2. Meanwhile, Gallivanter playing this way too safe is going to be doing Power of Wolf on top of everything else. And Matheus takes the lead.
Grab the save, so it's not the worst. But, like, you could have just gambled that it wasn't there, because you have a good idea of You have 3 Vlads in first castle. You have a good chance of 2 Vlads in second.
Well, this is
Actually,
not
no,
what I
you
expected
could
to
do
see.
One of them's guaranteed at Holy Glasses, so you could have bet that there was 1 Vlad in second castle. Because at this point in time, we know final Vlad is at Holy Glasses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another 100%. We're certain on that one.
So he could have just gambled that. He just lost a gamble 1 versus 10. He just checked the 1.
I feel like in a game 3, that's just too conservative. Oh, and there's silvering right away. So the second you find a castle 2 Vlad, you bail.
No, turn around immediately and go. Hope that you find it early.
Oh, you prefer doing it this way, huh? Well, Matheus agrees with you. Do this right now, then you can just stay in castle 2.
Yeah, you just stay in castle 2 and you just head directly to center when you find the last Vlad.
And who was it that got the library card? Was it both? Was it just one?
Gallivanter got a library card. I don't think Matheus got one.
Now, Gallivanter is going to have the combat advantage. Well, all of a sudden, I have no idea what to make of this.
I'll correct something that I said. Going straight back to first castle, I think in this situation, checking creature and then teleporting back to reverse keep and going to Holy Glasses would be best, because if creature has the Vlad, whenever you come back, you're most likely skipping creature at some point. So if you want to be ultimate conservative, you check creature.
Look at this. Gallivanter is actually not going to be going back yet. He's going to stay in Castle 2 for now. Actually, might be taking your advice here. Gallivanter did go Power Wolf, so...
He's a filthy cheater. He was listening to what I was saying.
It really is in line with this kind of more conservative approach. If so, that's definitely a commentator's blessing kind of moment. You called that to the T.
I just have the innate ability of just figuring out a different route than most people would normally take.
And that is indeed the final Vlad. We didn't totally misread this one. It is Heart at Maria.
It was the only high complexity location that we didn't have access to, so it had to be holy, or it had to be a Vlad.
Okay, well, call your shots. We've got all of Castle 2 left to explore. Who's gonna have the Ring of Vlad?
Gallivanter.
No, really? Again? Gallivanter's been on fire this tournament, to be honest. Spellbound might just be the Gallivanter preset.
We had a seed that was, it took us like 50 minutes to get into second castle to find a transformation, and the transformation was Wolf at Gallivanter.
I'm gonna say something boring like Force of Echo. Creature, Power of Mist, not bad. It's on the tracker, but not great.
It's pretty good to have in this situation sometimes.
If you're Gallivanter, you can use Masamune for iframes anyway. But yeah, like getting around corners like that, it can save your life in a pinch. This is good.
He's about to go by the Nova Skeletons. He doesn't want to get hit by a laser.
It happens to the best of us.
Sometimes on purpose, because it would cause a big toss and you can get a little bit of extra time.
Will it be another left versus right deciding routes?
I would like to hope so.
Well, Mateus is going right side. Here we go. This seed has been really interesting, right? It's gone from... Crazy, you and I were on the same page. Gallivanter had what seemed to be a huge lead. The routing was better. The movement was clean. It was looking good. Maybe played a bit too casual towards the end of Castle 1. Mateus made some skips, some timely skips. And now it's just, I think, a 50-50.
At this point, yes. There's 4 checks right side left, 4 checks left side.
It really is the Soten Rando classic. Are you going left? Are you going right? It's not this one. Oh my god, every check is so scary right now. Powerwolf is good for Mateus. Okay. Crazy rate the drip on Doppelganger 40. Well, he's dead.
7.2.
0.2?
Yeah. Yeah, 7.2.
We're using the whole scale. Will this be it? Here we go. Gallivanter going to Dark Blade. If this is it, Gallivanter wins and is moving on. Force of Echo. What a coincidence, because Force of Echo is coming up next. Let me get some inside knowledge here, Crazy. Has Mateus, in your experience, ever gone modified right side?
I think I've seen him do it once. And I think he said that he didn't like it too much. But I could be misremembering, and I could be thinking of somebody else.
Well, that's great to know, because that means that if the final Vlad is indeed at Galamoth or Death, that's still probably good for Gallivanter. Oh my god, 2 checks coming up at the same time. Odds are high. We're about to find out who wins this set right here. Who's got the Vlad? Mummy first. Sprite card. Force of Echo. Soul of Bat. That's good for Gallivanter. That's a nice backup.
That's really good for Gallivanter.
So the 50-50 continues. It's going to be Trio and Bees versus Death and Galamoth. The ultimate battle. Which team are you on?
I'm on team nobody wins because they're playing Spellbound. No, I'm joking.
I really think it's not going to be Galamoth once again. I think it'd just be too much. We've seen too much Galamoth already. We need a break.
Probably be. If I had to put money on anything, I would put money on Bees right now.
Okay. Here's another one, 25%. Is this it? Hellfire. Mateus now has a 2 in 3 chance of winning. Here comes Trio.
I think Gallivanter is probably going to do something that I have said. Whereas if he had, if he didn't have all 4 Vlads, he'd just skip Galamoth right now. Maybe not. He's doing it.
I'm stressed out just watching. Imagine playing. This is why I retired. Here we go. That's it. GG. Couldn't be more convenient. Right by Dracula. Mateus is going to win. So we give a big shout out to Right Side. There's a combination of going right side, skipping Granfalloon, and not returning to Soul of Bat location. Very impressive comeback win for Mateus, I think. We'll be moving on to winner's side of, I believe it's the semis, right?
I believe so.
Who is Mateus going to be playing? Do you happen to know?
I believe Ren, or no, is it her Drac?
Yeah, it's got to be Drac, yeah. So the 2 seed versus the 3 seed of the tournament. Now, I am curious what's behind a Gallivanter. Shouldn't we know? What have we not seen? Is it Cube? Is it nothing?
I believe we haven't seen Cube. Have we seen Summon Spirit?
We have not seen Summon Spirit.
See, yeah, the winner goes against Durdrak.
Once again, just want to point out that despite this being a pretty tough seed, pretty long-winded seed, it's still going to be sub-hour. That goes to show you 2 things. Number 1, Spellbound, not that long. You know, safe complexity presets, complexity-focused presets, they're not that bad in terms of the length. Number 2, these players are really good at the game. So even a tough seed like this one, the fact they can do it consistently in under an hour is very impressive. So here we go, going with the Heaven Sword and Marcel for the final boss. Interesting combo.
Sure amount of times that Marcel hits Shaft. Probably one of the better weapons to use against him.
Okay, I said sub-hour, but this might be just a hair over. And meanwhile, on Gallivanter's side, we're going to see what was at Gallivanter. The fool's gold of Wing Smash plus Bat was not enough to make this side worth it. Yep, it was indeed Cube at Gallivanter.
I mean, Gallivanter still has a choice. He, Mattheus could screw this up and miss his Heaven Sword spells.
I mean, Dracula's doing a lot of damage, and no power of mist for a bailout. This is kind of cool, though. We're going to see Heaven Sword for Game 3. Pretty neat.
He doesn't even have Hellfire to save him from the triangle attack.
And time. 1 hour, 6 seconds for Mateus. An impressive win. Moving on to winners semifinals.